We just treat them with courtesy and talk to them like we talk to everybody else and say the same things we say to everybody else every day. Say good morning or whatever it is, and if they're around, treat them, give them all equal treatment, because the concept is, of what I've written about, the compensatory concept, to do anything else is just to make a problem that is already pretty terrible worse. It's no improvement when black people start squabbling among themselves about how to react to the system of white supremacy. It doesn't touch the system of white supremacy at all. So what we do is just simply talk to them the way that you talk to them if you didn't know them at all, if you had never even heard about them. It's the same thing. It's very, very, very simple. That's what I say is the beauty, if you want to call it that, of codifying all of our behavior. So our behavior is always consistent, can always be predicted, and in a constructive mode, which is what we don't have. We're just kind of all over the place based on incidents. We have to dream up something, a whole new scenario for every incident, when we should have a code that covers every incident. And so that what we're going to do and how we're going to react to any situation is always consistent and always constructive. Everything is either in one of two categories: constructive, non-constructive. There's no such thing as in between. So, after brainstorming it and say, well, what do you do with black people who a lot of black people say are sellouts and all like that? And so it becomes controversial every time a new name comes up and whatnot. That shouldn't be. That should have been gotten rid of a long time ago. Say what you do is the same thing you always do. And everybody is always on the same page when they do it. It's a part of what we call the new black culture, which is what we do need. And it's codified, or codified, if you want to use that word. Codified in meaning what? You always do the best possible thing that can be done in every circumstance. That's something we should be striving to produce. That doesn't exist now. But I'm in the process of trying to help produce it. But it takes everybody on board to come up with a code, a counter-racist code, that where everybody does the same thing or says the same thing about whatever subject comes up all of the time, and not deviate not 1 inch from that, unless a new scenario comes up, which means it's not the same scenario, which means you have another code for that, the new scenario. And so the scenario, in answer directly to this question, in the cases of the people that you just named and any other people that come down the pike, there'll be other names that will come up from time to time, and you just say, actually your actual words are, well, if you want to know what this lady said, check with her. And because all I have to say about it is, she said what she said. And they say, well, somebody might say, well, what about what she did? And then the codified response, and this is in my textbook, is she did what she did. You have to check with her about what she said. Check with her about what she did. That's why I call it the United Independent Code System concept. If you're a victim of racism, you are independent as far as your counter-racist intent is concerned and how you go about doing it. And if it fails, well, then, that's you failing. And you're an individual. Nobody's telling you what not to do and what to do. People make suggestions, but you make up your own mind. All right? Every fellow prisoner, because that's the way I look at it. We are all fellow prisoners in the same prison system. So I don't dictate to other prisoners about what they should do for a very logical reason. I'm not in a position to dictate to anybody because I'm a prisoner. All prisoners are equal, prisoners of war, I say, because the war between those who believe in white supremacy and those who don't. So far, black people have become worldwide the prisoners of that war. See, that's already a done deal. It's not like that's in the process of happening. It's not a black person on the planet Earth who is not subject to the system of white supremacy, either directly or indirectly. That includes the so-called presidents of countries, governors of states, mayors, and all. They're all subject to the system of white supremacy, and they are prisoners of war. See, just because you have a fancy title inside of a prison doesn't say that you are not a prisoner.